So why is Thomas Massie, the congressman from Kentucky, wearing this debt badge on the floor that shows the actual national debt at above $31 trillion? Well, let me explain why. Thomas Massie understands that the debt is a problem. Most people think, who cares? It's just $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there. But here's the problem. Debt hurts the American people. And if you really need to understand why, let's think about how we create debt. Okay, so the government every year takes in a certain amount of money, and then it decides to spend a certain amount of money. And every year, the government spends more money than they take in. And that's a problem. How do you fix that problem? The first option is to raise taxes on the American people. The second option is to borrow the money. And the third option is to print the money out of thin air. Now, politicians don't like to raise taxes. Why? Because they lose votes. The second option, to borrow money, they love doing that. And guess who we're borrowing money from? We owe China and Japan $1 trillion. Think about that. We borrow the money from China. It's insanity. But the most important option, and the one that they utilize all the time, is the third option, which is to print the money. Congress goes to the Federal Reserve and says, hey, we're broke. We don't have enough money to pay our bills, so just add a couple zeros to the bank account. And why should that piss you off? Because the people that it hurts the most are those on fixed income, those that have a certain amount of money coming in. Because when you print money, you inflate the dollar, and that $1 that you have now becomes worth less money. This is how the politicians and corrupt establishment have been screwing working class, blue collar Americans for years. This is why Thomas Massie wears his debt badge, because every American should be thinking about how that $31 trillion impacts their life. And we should be screaming and yelling at these politicians and primarying them out of their position when they vote to continue to raise the national debt. It's completely irresponsible, it's completely immoral, and yet nobody does a thing. Let's hold those politicians accountable and kick them out of office.